Yeah, and it's really interesting because, as you know, I moved to Ukraine in September 2019. And going back to Ukraine and kind of being there, it was different. People are more cautious. City center in Lviv is not as crowded. There's not as many people around as there had been. And part of that is because obviously, there's not as much tourism in Ukraine as there used to be, but also too because of times of war. People are more cautious, they're more worried, they spend time with their families more, and there's air raid sirens, so places close down. And there are some days where there are 2 3 air raid sirens, and those go all across Ukraine because no one's ever sure where the missiles or the drones are going to be launched toward. And so when I was in Lviv back in December, my second day, there was air raid sirens, and Lviv was hit in different regions. And so it was kind of a harrowing experience to be standing outside and hearing something flying overhead, knowing that there are no airplanes in the sky, but knowing that there's some type of projectile missile or rocket or something like that flying overhead. It's kind of an unnerving experience. There's a lot of fatigue. One of the misconceptions is the fact that the war's been going on for 2 years. On April 12th, actually, will be the 10th anniversary of the war, because on April 12th, 2014, is when Russian operatives moved into the east of Ukraine, into Donetsk, and basically overtook regions there. And so there's a lot of fatigue because before the full-scale invasion, Ukraine had been fighting a war for 8 years, pretty much unknown to the rest of the world, silent war, so to speak. And so, it kind of is a time, obviously, too, a lot of the Ukrainian population has either, moved to Europe or moved to America, or, somewhere in the West. And so, people are tired. These guys that have been fighting on the front lines have been fighting a lot longer than just 2 years. And so there's a lot of physical fatigue. There's a lot of need for, and Timur and Mikhailo can talk a lot more to this. There's a lot of need for physical supplies, day-to-day items, things that soldiers need that they just don't have. And that a lot of times the world doesn't understand, when people are kind of in foxholes or in destroyed villages or cities, sort of hunkering down and waiting for the next line of attack. There's a great need for different supplies and different things, just basically to keep living. But the tenor, obviously the Ukrainian people are strong. The Ukrainian people are confident that they can overcome this, but there is still a need for many things. Even things, something like medical supplies, to things like portable batteries because there are power outages, warm sleeping bags, warm clothes, because it is winter time. And so without any kind of shelter from the elements, people need something to keep warm and to survive.
Like what professor said is that people are very tired, and this is the truth, because most of the motivated and like passionate soldiers, they came during 2022, and sadly a lot of them are already very tired or dead or injured, and it's like people are very tired, and not only in term like in physical meaning, but also in like mental, and like tired very mentally. And that's a big that's a big issue. But I mean, as Matthew said, we don't have we have no other options, because this is a problem of centuries, and this is a fight for existence. And we know that Russia is not going to step back, and we know that this is like the fight until the end. Basically, let's be honest. So we try, and this is a fight where Russia is much bigger and much, I would say, in terms of population and resources. And we just are trying to find new ways of of fight. And technology is one of these ways, drones is one of these ways, and just other things. So yeah. that's probably if yeah, that's probably the best answer. Everyone is tired, but we have no other option except of continue fighting. I mean, I would say the most important thing is to save lives of Ukrainian people, because I mean we've been killed for so long, and we've been, uh, Russians were trying to vanish, if I can say so. I don't know if it's correct, but to vanish Ukrainian nation and culture for so long that just in terms of like respect to the generations before us, which, to be honest, in my opinion, they were in much harder circumstances than we are now. Um like we can't just stop. Like it's not even possible to think about it. And if we stop, if we surrender, this is like, no, it's like everything that was before, that happened before, has no sense and no meaning. Like it was all just. So yeah, that's probably the first thing, to save lives and to keep the fight of the centuries, let's say so, to prove the right of existence, because there is very cool saying in Ukrainian that being a Ukrainian is being in the constant state of proving your right to exist.
I'm 19. I'm a student at Ukrainian Catholic University, and I'm also head of Ukraine, which is a um, student volunteering organization. We have around 100 people, more than 100 people on board, and we make uh, power banks like these for the army. They are actually made from used electronic cigarettes. So we disassemble them and we make these. And so the price for it is around $7 for one unit. And it's a rechargeable power bank, the same as you could buy in a store. And so we took on with this project with a mission of having, like, contributing to the supply of some technical and technological utensils, let's say, and these things are also needed. And we actually have a lot of requests at the moment. We also produce hand warmers and charging stations and many, many more. I think there is, well, the most difficult thing for me, what I see, is exhaustion of war. It's the exhaustion of the tragedies that happen every day. And, it gets to every soul in Ukraine, it gets to every human being. And the thing is, if we talk about Europe, if we talk about the United States, you could just, it's something, well, I could be rude here, but it's just like switching channels, right? It's like you could see one day that there is a problem somewhere over there overseas, but then you could just, if you're tired, if you're exhausted of the tragedies that you see, you just switch the channel and it's over for you. And well, it's not over for us. It's not over for anybody here. And to what Mihailo said, there is not even a thought, not even a thought of not pushing harder. It's just we have to do it, and there is no deeper, like, there is no way for us not to push that hard. It's the only way we see it, and it's the only way we can handle it, we can go through it.